What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having a great Sunday. Tomorrow is going to be the official last day of 2018, and we're really going to put it to a test, right? So if we can end 2018 on a green note. So for those that are not familiar with who it is that I am, my name is Ricky. I run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group for those who invest in the stock market. We have a little bit over 180,000 members within our free Facebook community. So if you've ever wanted to surround yourself and stay connected with like-minded individuals, be sure to click one of those links down in the description. I think it's the third or fourth link that will send you and bing you on over to our free Facebook group where you can do that exact same thing. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's tuning in live right now, just so you guys can see that we come from not only all over the United States but all over the world. I want to say what's up to all of you guys. I want to know what is it that you guys are doing tomorrow for New Year's? So we can see that everyone right now, all their messages are popping up right there, or you should be able to see it on your right-hand side. But for me and the people here at TechBot Solutions, we're pretty much, I don't think we're going to be going out or anything like that. We're going to be just staying together and doing the countdown here at our house. But I see some people cooking some tamales, partying my off. Okay, nice. Kissing someone, I like that. Okay, sounds good. Watching your videos, show, I appreciate that. Thank you. Cigars and scotch, spending time with the family, barbecue, I like it. Spending time with those that you love, sleeping in, drinking Texas beer. Okay. Studying, I like that. Okay. And then for those that are tuning in right now, where am I catching you guys from? So again, I'm here in Arizona. I'm originally from California, so I want to know where are you guys going to be celebrating New Year's? So we see New Orleans, Florida, Toronto, Texas, Canada. Here we go, New York. Oh, that's so cool that you're in New York for that. Oh my goodness, here we go. Reno, Arkansas, what's going on in Virginia? So freaking cool. California, Seattle, DC, LA. Oh my goodness, so fast. Oh, Brazil, that's super cool. Vietnam, Texas. Here we go. Flower, Ohio, Virginia, Gilbert. Oh, okay. Toronto, Guatemala. Super happy to hear that. That's so freaking sick. China, so Malaysia, Utah. I like it. So that's pretty much what it's all about, right? So again, we just like to stay connected. We like to empower one another to be the best that we can be. And I think that's something that our group is known for, right? So if you just are struggling right now to kind of stay motivated and you want to kickstart 2019 on the right foot, I can't say that we're going to be the absolute sole reason that you are going to be successful, but one thing that I do know is that if you're someone that really wants to just kill it 2019, I would love the opportunity to stay connected with you and just work with you on a closer basis. Oh my goodness. Okay, there was something inappropriate that was said, and again, just be respectful and mindful to other people. We do have younger people also watching these videos, let's just make sure that we understand that. So all together, let's go ahead and kickstart our Sunday Stock Talk. Our Sunday Stock Talks are pretty much where we come together as a group and we talk about the top stocks that we see value in all together, right? They're not necessarily call-outs. They're just, it's the time that I dedicate to break down stocks for everybody else. So I hope that you have put together your top number one stock for this week and to kickstart 2019 on a green note, right? So we have Monday, the last day for 2018. You don't have to trade that day, right? If you don't want to, just like every other day. We want to make sure that we focus on good deals and good opportunities. How many of you guys saw that huge sell-off that natural gas experienced from 3.30 all the way down to 3.06? Not for those that follow natural gas, it's a huge drop in favor of degas if it ends up holding. It looks like it's really starting to get rejected by that SMA line on the 1 day, 1 minute chart. So that's something that we'll follow up with in just a little bit. But that's something that I have I'm keeping my eyes on. Again, I have a huge focus as of right now during the winter months on natural gas. It's been working really well for me. And It's been working really well for a lot of people. We have people that solely focus and stay very micro focused on certain like aspects of the market, and just don't overcomplicate it, right? So again, let's just make sure that we keep it simple, we have fun with what it is that we do, and that we enjoy every second of it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It's a free brokerage if you're within the United States or Northern America, and you guys can feel free to use it if you see value in it. If you don't, 100% it's okay. There's so many different options out there. For those that are going to be asking for different options, for people those that are outside of the US, again, that's why you have Google, that's why you have YouTube. Just make sure that you ask the right questions, and you partner up with like, the best brokerage in your that kind of like meets your needs, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Appreciate that. So I went out and bought stock trading books because of your stuff. Still not confident enough to actually dive in, but I'm learning first. Good stuff, Ricky. That's what it's all about, right? So becoming more familiar with the different concepts, the different best practices that not just myself, that I share on YouTube, but there's so many talented people out there that share so many different styles of investing, and just cherry picking the different qualities that you like from the different traders that you come across, and try to develop your own unique style of trading. I think that would be the goal for 2019 for a lot of the newer traders that we have as a part of our group, is to understand that no one has or is going to have this perfect style of trading for you. There's these different like best practices and these different strategies that you can implement, but with the understanding that not everything is going to be, perfectly set in stone for you. We're all wired in different ways, and you have to understand that. And that's why I think simulation trading or paper trading can be very effective for a lot of new traders, as you can practice and implement everything that you learn and see if it's something that resonates well with you. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start breaking down stocks for you guys. Just make sure that you have it in the ticker call out format. Ishmael is going to be posted in the ticker call out, or the ticker call out, for those that want to have me break down a stock. If you just so here we have it. So you can copy and paste this and just make sure you fill in the ticker symbol, the support and resistance, desired entry point, sell point, and then why it has potential. I do want to remind you that if you do not post it in the ticker call out format, I will not be breaking it down, as you did not do your own due diligence. And again, I am not here to spoon feed people. I do not tell people where to buy or where to sell. We're here to empower one another and act as a positive catalyst for one another's success, and that is only if you dedicate time yourself to see if it's something that you see value in. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start off with Ray Bain. We got ticker symbol ACHN. So I'm going to put all the ones that we break down right here. So ACHN, right? I think that was it. Here we go. Okay, so it offered a pretty kind of like horizontal pattern, right? Kind of like the low points around 260, the high points right around 380, and then had a pretty aggressive sell-off. So I would like to understand why there was a huge sell-off. There has to be some form of news or catalyst. So it's a pharmaceutical company, so I can almost reassure you that it has to do with like it not being FDA approved. Based on my experience, I know nothing about this company, but just my experience trading these series of things. There's probably some news that was released. Let's see, 12/18. There's probably, so it was right around the 8th, so that makes sense. That was released, that drove the price down. Again, this could be like a cup and handle pattern, which means that it sells off and then it tries to recover. So I think that's why you're bringing it up. I do want to remind you that as of right now, it's still getting rejected by this EMA line. If we want to invest and grow our accounts, then we need to invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. So I think that this one can be something that we can look out for. Is it the best stock for tomorrow? Well, there's no confirmation just yet. So I would set my alert, follow up with it. And if it begins to show signs of a recovery and continuous uptrend and higher highs and higher lows, then great. Understanding that it's going to pull back, yes, that makes sense. But, it has a lot of margin to recover. So all we can do is simply be patient, wait for the confirmation if it ends up showing up. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, then guess what? You don't have to take a position. That's the beautiful thing about investing in the stock market. You get to decide what you'd want to, or what you choose to invest in. So thank you again for the call out. So ticker symbol AKER. What's going on, Jason? So here we go, AKER. Here we go. And again, if you guys are tuning in for the first time or are watching this video as you do on an every week basis, we'd really appreciate it if you can like this video. If you guys can't, I 100% understand, but it just gives us a better understanding that you guys are still enjoying these Sunday stock talks. And it's just one little action that you can do that means a lot to me. So as of right now, AKER has been making lower lows and lower highs. It's just not something that I necessarily would see value in. It's something that's very volatile, and I see why it is that you're bringing it up because on Friday it had 26.82% growth. It's super overbought, super overextended. You can tell that by the RSI and the MACD. It makes sense on why it can continue to downtrend. If you look at it intraday on the 1-day, 1-minute chart, and first of all, it experienced a good amount of volume on this day, but let's look at the normal days and see if it normally experiences this much volume. It doesn't look like it does, and it normally trades below this SMA line. It just probably isn't something that's going to last for a very long period of time. If it's something that continues to show signs of growth, then again, all power to you. Just understand that it's extremely volatile. It's not something that uptrends for a very long period of time, and keep that in mind when it comes down to managing your risk. It's also gone through a number of reverse stock splits, which are not a healthy sign, especially for these pharmaceutical type of companies, right? And it's just there's a lot of things that are betting against AKER. And I just want to present the obvious for you to outweigh the pros and the cons, and you're the final decision maker on what you choose to invest in. I don't think the direction is there. I think that this one shows more signs of a pump and dump, and it's very high risk, high reward type of investment or trade, and it's just not my style, right? A lot of people work really well with it, and I'm really happy that you work really well with it and you can make money off of it. I just don't think it's something that will, at least for myself, be able to allow me to be consistently profitable. So yeah, here we go. We got ODP. What's going on? ODP. Here we go. So what do you guys think about this one? This is Office Depot. I don't know if you guys have ever been to one, but this is pretty much where they sell office supplies. It's pretty much like Staples, but yeah, it's pretty much like Staples, but just another version. I don't know if they have these on the East Coast, but I know that they're really popular over here in the West Coast, in California especially. A lot of them were closing down. Based on the pattern that I see here on this 180-day 4-hour chart, we kind of see this horizontal pattern. Not too sure if it's something that you guys can see as well, but kind of the high points around $3.40. So anything above $3.20, I think would be considered a price point or a price range where it's a little bit more on the overbought side, right? And then everything below 260 to 240, so around this general area is normally where it tends to bounce. So do you see how it sold off, but then it starts to reverse around this general area? Same thing with right here, and same thing with based off of previous patterns. Trying to keep it very simple. Yes, it does have a pretty consistent pattern that I think a lot of us can see. One thing that I do want you guys to understand is that look at this change of direction on this SMA line, right? It was showing signs of an uptrend, but it wasn't until recently, due to the sell-off, now the SMA line is pointing down, meaning that the SMA line, this green line that you see right here, might begin to act as a resistance, or we might not see it hit as high as it has before, right around 320 to 340. So again, one of the questions that you want to ask yourself is the 3 questions. Do you understand the pattern? Do you understand the direction in which this is going? I would like to see higher highs, and I would like to see this thing break above 260 to show signs of a continuous uptrend. And then the last question that I like to ask myself is the opportunity cost worth it? Does that pros outweigh the cons? And that's a simple question that you can answer yourself once you have a little bit more of an understanding of what it is that you are working with. So yeah, TVIX, what is going on, Carlos? Woo, woo, woo. All right, so TVIX, we can see as of right now, it was consistently selling off, right? Due to overall market conditions and the market pulling back, TVIX does well when the market tends to pull back. And we could see that the SMA line has been acting more of a support, and it's been pointing up in comparison to based off of previous patterns, right? It's no question extremely overbought and overextended. It makes sense on why it can correct itself and come back down, just like it's done multiple times before when it becomes overextended and then pulls back and corrects itself right back to the SMA line. Again, as of right now, it's still above the EMA line. I would kind of have this to be at a critical point, right? So I would be very iffy about holding a position on TVIX for much longer, as it's, again, super overbought, overextended, and it makes sense on why it can pull back before it continues to uptrend. Again, if the market is there and this thing continues to rally and makes higher highs, great, all power to you, with the understanding that it would make more sense to me as a day trade rather than a swing trade. So yeah, Here we go, TVIX. Thank you again for that call out. So here we go. What is going on, Ricky G? Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, that's kind of like, that's me. Here we go. Ticker symbol HTZ. Alrighty. So what do you guys see with ticker symbol HTZ? So this is Hertz Global Holding. Do you guys know anything about kind of like the pattern? What do you think about the price point? Is this an uptrend pattern, horizontal pattern, or a descending pattern? What do you think about this specific company? So here we go, Ricky G. Okay, so we have, so Beef, you keep posting just the ticker symbol, so I'm going to have to remove you from the chat just because, again, you're not posting it in the ticker call out format, so I hope you understand that that's really important to us. Okay, so a lot of you guys, just like you guys are saying, it's kind of like a horizontal pattern as of right now. So on this 180-day analysis, we could see that it's been making, again, is this thing progressively making lower lows? Is it progressively making higher highs? Or is it kind of flatlining, right? Does it offer this kind of like parallel range of support and resistance? And I think it's safe to say, at least to my eyes, and again, we all see value in different ways and patterns in different ways, but in my eyes, it makes sense on why this is kind of like a horizontal pattern, right? We could say within around $15 to around $14, this is normally where we see a bounce or a support, right? And then everything when it pushes above like $18 plus is when it becomes a little bit more on the overextended side, as we could see here, as we could see here, and as we could see here. And yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say, right? We can calculate what the margin of profit is. We can set our alert for the break above 15. This is something that could be, also very lucrative because the margin of profit is pretty decent. Again, this isn't something that I would invest a ton of money in, but because the margin of profit being and the pattern being so consistent, this might be something that I might throw like, $2,500 to $5,000 at, kind of maybe swing trade it and see if the pattern ends up performing the way that we expect it to. Not right now, right? But once we get the confirmation that it's making higher highs, kind of like we did over here, right? So like, when would it make sense to invest in something, right? Like what would be like that critical point that I would say like, okay, hey, this might be something that I might want to buy into as of right now. Well, something that it's doing right now is that it's making lower lows and lower highs. I need that direction to reverse, right? I need higher highs and higher lows and this thing to start indicating signs of an uptrend. So keeping it that simple, I need the EMA line to start pointing back up. I need the overall pattern to start reversing back up. And just with that itself, I think we can follow up with it and simply see if it's a better trade later down the road. So I'm going to set a couple alerts here, and just as much as it could go up, it could go down. So I'm going to also set an alert for the break below $13, as that would be a break of pattern due to previous support levels. So yeah, thank you again for that great call out. Here we go. What's going on, Sasha? Ticker symbol JPM. So this is JP Morgan, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. All right, so on the 180-day analysis, what would you view this as? So this is JP Morgan Chase & Co. As of right now, I would say that this is a little bit more of a descending pattern. It's been making lower lows and lower highs, and yes, I understand that this thing's a little bit more on the oversold side. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. Again, it's not showing. It's showing signs of this thing being above the EMA line, and I could see why. Some of you might be thinking that, okay, it might be bound to recover now. Again, the market just isn't necessarily there, I think, yet. And it hasn't been making higher highs enough to where I would feel comfortable swing trading this. As, it's sold off before, it pushes up, it tries to recover, consolidates, gets rejected by the SMA line, and then continues the sell-off. Again, I want to grow my account consistently, and this thing is not consistently making higher highs. So although there is potential for profit and being able to, buy the reversal, you have to be very careful with your entry, and you have to be very kind of almost conservative with your exit to make sure that you come out on top. So there's nothing wrong with this. I would just say that its direction is still trending down. There's a risk by investing in those specific patterns, and it does have an up-and-coming earnings report. And you might be finding it attractive because of the dividends payouts on 1/3/2019, which is great. But also just know that its earnings report is going to be on the 15th. And JP Morgan usually does a really beautiful job doing really well during its earnings. So here we go. What's going on? Tamzas. I'm not too sure if I pronounced that correctly, but thank you again for tuning in. So here we go. What is that? LGORF, I believe. Here we go. I'm just going to double check. Hey, what's going on, Yazir? What's up? overall, very consistent uptrend pattern until recent patterns where it broke below this SMA line. Again, what is the whole purpose? Just asking yourself this question. What is the whole purpose of technical analysis? To identify a pattern and hope that it repeats itself, right? So waiting for the confirmation and then that it repeats itself. First of all, the volume is way too low. I would never invest in something like this. On top of that, the direction and the overall, some of you guys might be finding it attractive because of this pattern, right? This direction that it offered before. But guess what? Not only did it break this pattern when it, sold off and broke this kind of higher high and higher low type of pattern that it had going on, but now it's showing signs of a downtrend. It's getting rejected by this EMA line, and on top of that, it fell below the SMA line as well on the 180-day 4-hour chart. So with that being said, yes, it does have potential to recover, but just as much potential as it has to continue to sell off. So it just wouldn't make much sense to me on why this would be a good investment as of right now when there's no indication of an uptrend. That's simple. So we could set a couple of alerts and follow up with it, but just its overall direction is still trending down. So yeah, it just wouldn't make sense why this thing would be something that I would want to watch as of right now. Let's see. Can you talk about short selling? So I personally do not short sell, but I appreciate you tuning in and asking that question. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, I'm sure that you can Google or YouTube different options out there, or you can call your brokerage, as I can give you perfect examples of what short selling is. That's also a resource that I don't think enough people utilize, is that if you're using a brokerage, you most likely have access to representatives that can explain or answer certain questions that you might have. They were a huge resource that I utilized when I first got started, and I would really encourage you to, again, get the unbiased opinion of these specific brokers. So here we go. We got TQQQ. So pretty much for those that are not familiar with, okay, sounds good. Just give me one quick second, Ellie. So for those that are not familiar with TQs, pretty much what this is, it's a NASDAQ ETF, meaning that TQQQ goes up when NASDAQ goes up, right? But because NASDAQ and the overall market has been selling off, TQs has been selling off. So again, its overall direction as of right now, just like the market and just like NASDAQ, has been selling off, right? It got rejected. It was trending below the EMA line. It recently broke above the EMA line, and it's been trying to make higher highs. Check this out though. The MACD is starting to show signs of a descending pattern, and so is the RSI, meaning that it can still continue to downtrend. Again, TQs is a descending pattern as of right now. So that's why it's very tricky to invest in descending patterns, because your entry points have to be very just particular. They have to be very, they're the most important part, especially on descending patterns. And that's why for a lot of newer traders, if you're someone that's just getting started, investing in descending patterns probably is not the best kind of approach to take, in my opinion. And again, that's just my opinion. You guys are more than willing to test it out yourself. But altogether, as of right now, yes, it is still trending above the EMA line. Yes, it can still continue to rally. I just think that there's a couple things that are going against it that can still continue or drive the price down. So I'm going to set an alert for the break below the EMA line, and I'm also going to set an alert for higher highs. So for those that are familiar with TQs, you should be aware that there's an inverse ETF, which is SQs, which means that when NASDAQ pulls down and TQs pulls down, SQs pushes up. And this is the one that's been progressively showing signs of it making higher highs and higher lows and stuff like that. And although it is trending down right now, it's one that has more of an uptrend consistent pattern. So if TQs gets the confirmation and begins to sell off, then this is probably something that you are going to watch. It doesn't mean that you have to trade it, but the beautiful thing about, having access to the market is being able to analyze these different stocks and ETFs. And even if you just write it down on a piece of paper and be like, hey, I would normally buy 100 shares here, and I would plan to sell it, let's say, at $20. You don't even have to take a position. You can just watch it, see if it plays out according to plan. And especially if you're someone that's younger and maybe your parents just don't want to open up a brokerage account, that's 100% okay. You make the most of it, right? So if you're someone that's willing to dedicate time and effort into becoming a little bit more familiar with these patterns, then even doing it with a piece of paper can at least get your feet wet to become more familiar with confirmation, entry points, exit points, managing risk and stuff like that, without you even investing one single penny. So Ricky, when are you going to set up the why was that one? Oh, sorry. Yo, sup, Rick? When you're going to be in the HQ? So still working on getting the building and stuff like that. So But yeah, definitely trying to get that set up as soon as possible. What's going on, Guido 1291? We got PayPal, so PYPL. I personally don't think that this one's going to be doing very well. Yeah, so the market, again, these larger companies tend to follow the market very closely. Overall, it was doing really well, hit a resistance right around $92, and then as the market sold off, this kind of did too, not as much, but overall around $78 were the low points, $88 were the high points. Yes, it is showing signs of an uptrend. One thing that I would just have you take into consideration that has been pretty accurate indicator when it comes down to PayPal or PYPL is the MACD indicator. You could see that when it becomes a little bit more on the overextended side and right before the sell-off, the MACD begins to descend. Again, just something that you want to be familiar with because it is showing signs already of descending bars, as well as with the RSI, it's not the best deal, and yes, it can continue to uptrend. But again, one question that you want to ask yourself is, do the pros outweigh the cons? And with that simple question, if you think it does, just formulate a plan for success that manages your risk. And I think that's something that's very important. So regardless if it ends up going in your favor or not, as long as you understand what it is that you're doing and as long as you believe in it and you're managing your risk, not just for the offense, but also the defense and cutting losses, then I think that could be a huge learning experience for everybody, right? So Shopify, yeah, that's ticker symbol SHOP. So again, if you want me to break down the stock that you want to call out, it needs to be in the ticker call out format. So just a friendly reminder. What is going on, Apollo? So PRTY. Here we go. Strong, consistent downtrend. This is Party City. I don't know how these people stay in business. It's honestly, I think it's pretty crazy how I only see them really busy during like Halloween and stuff like that. But overall, very consistent downtrend pattern. Overall, SMA line acting as a resistance. Yes, you can make money on the recovery. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI, a little bit more on the overbought side. Not necessarily the best deal possible. Again, just outweigh both the pros and the cons. And I wish you the best on this one. This just wouldn't be something that I would personally invest in, as it just doesn't show consistent enough like growth. And again, you have the option or the opportunity to invest in anything, right? The best deals out there. It's up to you to decide, right? I can say that this is the worst stock ever, but if you make money in it or on it and you saw value in it in comparison to everybody else, like who cares like what I think? If you see value in it and it's something that works out according to your plan, all power to you. Just make sure that you're not trading based off of hope, but that there's a reason for everything it is that you do. And I think that's one of the best practices that I can share like in any market, right? So just become familiar with what it is that you're doing. Make sure that you are realistic and that you manage your risk along the way, and that you're willing to learn from your mistakes as well. So thank you again for this ticker call out. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol CIEN. What's going on, Brent? Here we go. Overall SMA line showing signs of an uptrend. It's been acting as a very strong support, as you guys can see right here. It's been making higher highs and higher lows. The last resistance was right around $36. I'm going to check the volume on the 1 day, 1 minute chart just to make sure that we're good there. Let's check this out. Volume isn't bad, and it did a really good job on Friday, kind of trading between the middle and top VWAP. That's VWAP if you do not know what that is. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit course, just know that there's going to be a video that's going to explain to you exactly how I utilize the VWAP indicator and how I utilize that for, it's one of the most important indicators that I use for day trading. And I think it's something that's very effective and very important to become familiar with. And again, that's my opinion. But overall, as of right now, yes, it is acting as support. The EMA line recently started to show signs of a bounce and is now pointing up, as you guys can see right here. We can set a couple of alerts and see if it continues to uptrend. Again, let's understand that although it did hit highs of $36, it does not mean that it has to hit highs of $36. Again, anything above, I would say $34 would be kind of like the cherry on top. So this would be more of the ideal sell. Again, I'm a little bit more conservative. You just want to ask yourself, does the margin of profit outweigh the margin of loss? And if it does, great, all power to you. And if it doesn't, just, again, outweigh both the pros and the cons. And that's pretty much it. So I like this one. I don't think it's too bad. I like the volume that it has intraday, and I'm going to set in my alerts for the higher highs and also for the break below the EMA line. So sweet. Let's do it. Here we go. Alrighty. What are you trading right now? Nothing. It's Sunday. Here we go. Ticker symbol DWT. What is going on, Daniel? here. We're going to do 3 more stocks after this, and then we can go from there. So DWT, we can go here on the 180-day 4-hour chart. We can see that we've been making higher highs and higher lows altogether. Is this the best deal possible? No, not necessarily, right? But it's something that's been consistently showing signs of an uptrend. So all we really have to do is set our alerts, and if it gets that confirmation and it gets triggered, then guess what? We can re-add it to our active watch list and simply follow up with it. Until that confirmation, I probably would not touch it. And I'm also going to set my alert for the break below it. So yeah, that's really just it. So Kane, love you. What's up? All right. Here we go. What is going on, Tyler? AMZN. What was that? No, I don't trade Forex. Overall, Amazon has been consistently selling off. Yes, it is showing signs of recovery, just like everything else, right? So all the huge like Fortune 500 companies are going to be almost showing kind of the same pattern. So overall, very consistent uptrend pattern. Due to market sell-off, Amazon kind of followed as well. Been making lower lows and lower highs, being rejected by the overall SMA line. And we could see as of right now that, again, yes, the EMA line is pointing up, right? The EMA line is pointing up. It is showing signs of a current uptrend, but its overall direction is trending down. And the RSI and the MACD are showing signs of it being overbought, not a good deal. And it makes sense on why it can continue to downtrend before it continues to uptrend. So again, just something that you want to be on high alert for. So I'm going to set an alert for the break below the EMA line, but I'm also going to set the alert for this thing to make higher highs. So I do appreciate the call out and everything that is that you do. So here we go. What is going on, Ken? All right, AAON, we could see that its overall low points was right around $32. Overall high points is, I would say, anything above $38 would be kind of just all gravy, right? So we can see here the low points, the high points. Margin of profit isn't too bad, right? So this is when it's above the EMA line. Margin of profit is about 12%. Again, just because it's above the EMA line for one day doesn't mean that it's going to really continue to rally. This thing can sell off as much as it pushed up on Friday. So again, I would like to see continuous higher highs and showing a little bit more signs of an uptrend, and for this thing to like pull back, bounce off the EMA line, and continue to push up. So exactly what it did when it was getting rejected, I wanted to do the exact opposite. So yeah. I think we had a member that called out ticker symbol UGAS and AMD, right? So you guys as of right now, so the easiest way that I can put it is that on the past couple of in the past couple of days, on the 10-day 30-minute chart or on the 20-day 1-hour chart, whichever one that you want to use, you could see that UGAS, which is natural gas, has been selling off. It's been correcting itself from that really strong push that it experienced. One thing that I do want to point out is that, again, this is something that I've been trading very consistently, and it's been getting rejected by this overall SMA line. If you can see, based on where it closed at on Friday and where it's at right now, if the market were to open right now and we would have access to UGAS and DGAS, DGAS would be up and UGAS would be down, just to put it into perspective. So as of right now, again, this thing can try to recover. I don't really think it is. So it's probably going to be a DGAS day tomorrow if this thing continues to sell off. But again, because it sold off so much, if you did not swing trade anything and this thing just tries to recover all day, then that means that it might be a UGAS day, as although it's opening in the red, it has a lot of margin to recover, which means that that's where we can really make money and stuff like that. So what stocks look best to buy first thing in the morning? That's a question that you don't ask, right? You don't ask what you should invest in. And if you're asking that question, then you're probably not ready to invest. Again, no one else worked hard for your money, so no one should tell you where you should invest your money. And that's one of the biggest rules. And if you're someone that's asking people what to trade or just to spoon feed you these different ticker symbols, then I really do apologize. But again, why do 90% of people in the market lose money? It's because they almost do exactly what the 90% do, and that's follow one another. You should be someone that's opinionated, that develops your own eye for value, and that understands what it is that you're doing. If you're not there yet, and again, you can ask yourself that simple question and just be honest with yourself, then guess what? You just have to practice a little bit more, and it's going to take time. But again, you have to earn the blessing of being able to make money by investing money. And I don't think that's something wrong to say, right? The other one that was asked to be broken down was ticker symbol AMD, right? So AMD on the 180-day 4-hour chart, we can see that it's getting rejected by the overall SMA line. Overall support right around $16, so we might see a bounce before it continues to downtrend. It is above the EMA line, so and just watch out for the resistance that the SMA line might act. So it has this nice little margin. As long as it stays true to this EMA line and it doesn't break below that, that's one of the closest indicators that I would, keep a close eye on. So what is going on, Shadi? You're quite patient, Ricky. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm quite monotone as well, right? Here we go. We're going to do 2 more call outs, and then we're going to keep it at that. Let's make sure that they're good ones. FLDM. What's going on, Brock? So I think. Okay, so FLDM. Let's check out the volume on the 1-day 1-minute chart. A little low. Why do you switch between EMA and SMA? So you need to probably become a little bit more familiar with what the indicators are. Exponential moving average is a little bit more, I think, relevant to day trading. I use the SMA line to become a little bit more familiar with not necessarily swing trading, but understanding overall direction. So kind of like with the SMA line. So SMA line on natural gas is pointing down. So even though the EMA line on the 1-day 1-minute chart might be pointing up, I understand that natural gas is still pointing down. So it's just a friendly little reminder that it's like, okay, hey, you want to day trade it? Great. Just remember that this is not a swing trade and stuff like that. So, but yeah. People use different indicators for different reasons. As of right now for FLDM, I think it's a little bit more on the overbought side. It's not necessarily the best deal possible. And again, it's just that friendly reminder that you are here and are able to invest in anything, right? You have access to investing in anything. And you want to make sure that you choose the best deals out there, right? Because regardless of what the case might be, if you don't maybe get in at the best entry or at the best exit, guess what? If you really focus on getting a good deal and you understand that it's a good deal, I think that's one of the best practices that you can have in investing in any market. Forex, cryptocurrency, stock market, investing in real estate, investing in cars. And again, it's just, how do you understand when you're getting a good deal? When you understand overall market conditions and what it is that you're investing in. So there's a lot more than just saying, okay, I think I'm getting a good deal. Is you have to have a general understanding of at least of what you're about to invest in before you actually do. So I appreciate the call out. It's just not something that would necessarily meet my criteria. I would wait for this thing to potentially correct itself and get closer to the SMA line, which is this green line right here, and then show signs of a bounce, and then we can catch it as it reverses. So here we go. Kevin, what's going on? CHGG. This is a college student's best friend. Totally kidding. But overall, we could see that it's been trending above the SMA line due to overall market conditions. We could see that it's been selling off. It's been making not necessarily lower lows, but it hasn't been making higher highs. So as of right now, the MACD is kind of in its favor. I don't know. This one's kind of like all over the place. So it built a support again right around $25. So we can kind of draw that support. So no, you're not. Here we go. So we'll draw support right around $25. Based off of previous patterns, the SMA line has been acting as a resistance. So that's why I'm kind of sketched about this, because we are above the SMA line, but it's not necessarily showing signs that it's overbought. So I'm kind of like what's going on here? But based off of previous patterns, again, old resistance level is right around $30. It makes sense on why it can get rejected there. So again, I would try to focus on getting the best deal possible. Means you have to be a little bit more patient. So I'm going to set my alert here for then when this thing begins to sell off, and I'll just set my alert here if this thing begins to make higher highs. So we'll follow up with it then. Here we go. Howdy y'all, got here late. What's going on, James Taylor? Hope you're having an amazing December 30th. Hope you're ready for New Year's and to kickstart 2019 strong. This is going to be the last one. Brandon, is it you? CDNA. Let's check it. CDNA. Okay, so it was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It recently broke that pattern as it broke below the SMA line. I would set my alert for the break above this, as this thing is probably going to show signs of it making lower lows and lower highs. It's overbought with or not overbought, but it's kind of overextended with the MACD based off of previous patterns. So it makes sense on why this thing might continue to downtrend before it continues to uptrend. So let me do one more. I didn't like this one too much, and that's just my opinion. So LEBU, what's going on, George? Strong downtrend pattern, meaning that if so it is showing signs of an uptrend as of right now, but again, with its overall direction pointing down, I would be more kind of So that was LBU. So LBD is the one that's pointing up. So because this one's selling off, again, this is the one that's its direction is showing sign of an uptrend. Although it's pulling back and it's correcting itself, this one is one that is more bound to actually continue to uptrend based off of previous patterns than to trying to find the reversal on LBU and trying to take that small margin of that might be left. So all we have to do here is set our alerts for the break above the EMA line and simply follow up with it. So I'll put both LBU here and then also LBD. I do want to also let you guys know, the friend is your, what was that? I like that. So the trend is your friend. Antonio, I like that. Couldn't have said it better myself. I do want to remind you guys that if I didn't get to your call out here, everyone's been doing it within the Learn Plan Profit and TechBud Solutions Discord group. So again, we have these group chats where you can direct message me every single day. You don't have to direct message me or call out. If you want my 2 cents on what it is that you see value in, all you have to do is go in the group alerts if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, or go to watch list channel if you're part of TechBud Solutions, and post your ticker call out format. Don't just post the ticker, post it in the ticker call out format, tag me, and I will direct message you my opinion. Again, you should never trade based off other people's opinion. I just want to see that you're dedicating time to identify a pattern that you see value in, and for me to just give you maybe some tips on maybe what I would look out for or maybe what I would wait for and stuff like that. So again, we're not here to spoon feed you. If you're someone that's kind of looking out for someone wanting to like be told what to do or to be told where to enter or where to sell or like signals and stuff like that, that's not something that we do. So then our groups would not be, ideal for you. But if you're someone that's willing to work for it, that's willing to work with us on a much closer basis, and just, even if you message me every single day and we actually hold an actual conversation where you have actual questions as you're completing the course, then 100% I would love the opportunity to work with you, as long as you're someone that's willing to dedicate time to actually figure this out. This isn't something that you're going to, in all reality, figure out in a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months. It might take, a series of months, maybe even more than a year, right? And that's still not bad. If you're having fun with it, if you're surrounding yourself with people that, motivate you and uplift you, then again, 2019 can be something full of just knowledge and information that can really just, I think, shift your entire life in a different direction. I can almost promise you that, again, investing in the stock market is not the only market that I invest in. I can almost reassure you that the different markets in which that we do invest in, me buying my first house at age 20, the ways that we approach investing in cars and everything it is that we do with the different businesses that we have, I think can really motivate you and spark that interest to kind of just kickstart 2019. So I would love to stay connected, and be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. So I know you guys don't want to continue to hear me as I talk maybe a little bit too fast as of right now, and so 1,000 watching and only 40 likes. I know, Chad, I'm a little offended. It's all good. It's all good. So I really do appreciate your guys' time. I left you guys a little gift for those that want it in the description. For those that are part of Learn Plan Profit already, a lot of you guys have been asking me for a discount in the Flipping Wheels community, which means you get to work with a mentor in learning how to invest in cars. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee within Flipping Wheels, and we have a $50 off coupon. So if you guys use the link down below, that you'll just make sure at checkout you use promo code 50 off. That's simple, and it will give you $50 off the course in 30 days. If you don't make your money back right with working with Caleb and Weston, Caleb's actually moving in. I think he's going to get here by tonight. You work with them every single day for 30 days. You learn about the market, about investing in cars. Feel free to check that out. Same thing with the Learn Plan Profit course. Just that, again, there's a $50 off coupon. And if it's something that you want to take advantage of, it's going to end tonight. So we still have about, 5 hours left. Sorry about that. But yeah, just a friendly reminder that if you guys do want the coupon for Learn Plan Profit, that coupon is going to be 50 off as well. Be sure to use it at checkout. There's no direct link that's going to automatically add your coupon, so make sure that at checkout it shows $50 off, and again, that's promo code 50 off. So there's 2 links for you. The first 2 links in the description, one's for Learn Plan Profit, the second one is for Flipping Wheels. I would love the opportunity to work with you on a closer basis, but 100%, if you guys aren't there yet and you guys would just like to continue to watch the free content that we have on YouTube, I would love for you to suggest any future videos that you would like for me to make, as that's why I'm here, right? I continue to make content for you guys, and regardless if you're invested in our course or not, that's irrelevant. I want to make sure that I continue to provide value for all those that continue to dedicate time to our videos. So I hope you guys understand that and see value in that. And yeah, Thank you again. So he got my like. Thank you again. But yeah, hope you guys all have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Let's try our best to kickstart 2019 on a green note. Again, just recapping 2018. What is it that you could have done better? Maybe not holding anything overnight. Maybe just focusing on managing risk a little bit more. Maybe focusing on being a little bit more selective and not trading based off of people's opinion. Again, there's a very common quote of not necessarily a quote, but just this comment that again, if everyone is talking about this one thing that's doing really well, kind of like Bitcoin, and everyone is just saying that it's a good investment, then maybe you should be at a point where you don't necessarily, where you kind of start to second guess yourself again, because most likely based off of just patterns in history, if everyone thinks that something is going to continue to do well, then it most likely won't, and it's kind of most likely going to pull back or reverse. So just a friendly reminder that, again, what is it that you're going to do to be that 10% that's going to set you apart from that 90%? Very little simple things that you can implement can have a really big impact and change in your life if you do it consistently. So thank you guys again for your time. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. Wish you guys an amazing last day for 2018. Be safe this New Year's. If I don't catch you guys tomorrow, for those that don't watch our daily videos, then hope you guys just have a happy New Year's. Hope you guys spend it with those that you love, and have an amazing 2019. Thank you guys again.